Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hartford Whalers expansion franchise here on NHL 24. In the last episode, we covered a bunch of ground as we rode our point streak to 18 games before falling to the San Jose Sharks 8-4, one of the worst teams in the league. We did rebound well with a 2-0 shutout against the Rangers, the top team in the NHL, as we're currently second in the East and third in the entire league right now, with a 17-1-2 record in our last 20 games. Today we'll get right into it and sim this game against the Los Angeles Kings as we look to continue our dominant play heading into this postseason run. We do fall behind there 3-1. A shorthanded goal by Jake Evans put us up 1-0, but Scott Wedgwood in this one gives up 2 power play goals as the Kings jump ahead. They add one more there in the second with a goal from Grundstrom, and we have some work to do here in the third. And we do get 2, one from Kane, one from Comfer, but the Kings take advantage of us having our backup goalie out there as they win 5-3 and hand Hartford their second loss in the last 3 games. Now we'll jump ahead here a little bit as we host Pittsburgh, who is currently, I think, 1 point out of the playoff spot as they're battling with Columbus for that final wildcard spot here in the East. Definitely want to make sure Jacob Markstrom is still out there for this one, as he is. Markstrom just playing unreal hockey since returning from injury with 5 shutouts in his last 6 starts. Just an absurd pace he's on right now. And here we go against Pittsburgh. We jump up 1-0 with a goal from Esa Lindell in his 3rd game as a member of the Hartford Whalers, nets his first goal. Tied up there after 2. Esa Lindell gets another one, which put Hartford up 3-1, but Letang and Malkin net some there towards the end of the period. Victor Arvidsson also with a goal. So we're going to jump into this one and watch the final period here against Pittsburgh, as we're not going to watch a full game in this episode. I think we're going to sim ahead maybe like 7 games or so and work towards a game against Buffalo, who have been one of the best, most surprising teams so far, although they have fallen off a little bit in the second half. So here we are from XL Center. Mark Scheifele on the draw there against Sidney Crosby. Advantage Sid the Kid, as Chris Letang will take it in for the Pens. Right in front for Crosby, and they're going to score right off the face-off. The familiar faces, Chris Letang and Sidney Crosby, connect for a quick goal as they jump ahead here at the start of the third period. And that's not what we wanted to see there. You see Esa Lindell going for the poke check, and then Tyson Barrie couldn't get back as Sidney Crosby works his way in and finishes right on goal there against Jacob Markstrom. And the Whalers are going to take a timeout. I think our head coach is Schneider. I forget what his first name is, though. We haven't really talked too much about our head coach so far in this series, but we'll look more into that situation once we get into the offseason. So we'll do it again here. And Crosby wins another one. Hopefully it doesn't end in the same result. Malkin back to Letang. He takes it back in Pittsburgh territory, being chased by Mark Scheifele as he peels up into the neutral zone. Feeds Jake Gensel there. Gensel closed off by Esa Lindell, picked up by Patrick Kane going back the other way. Kane to Mark Scheifele. Scheifele into the corner, picked up by Lindell, back to Scheifele. Now to the point for Barrie, a shot off, gloved into the corner by Tristan Jarry, picked up by Malkin. He feeds Letang. Now Jake Gensel with it. Off the wall, intercepted by Scheifele. Back to Tyson Barrie. Barrie peels up and feeds Scheifele in the neutral zone. Now Patrick Kane working his way in against Letang. Those two players have played against each other in the Stanley Cup once before, as Patrick Kane turns it over on a Letang pass in the neutral zone, now into the corner. Along the boards, Kane gives it to Scheifele as he's overtaken by Chris Letang now with it. Letang still with it as he takes it up the boards. Closed off there by Lindell, but keeps it. Malkin. Now Crosby, a chance in front for Letang, and he finishes on a backhand chance. His second goal of the game. Just giving him way too much cushion there, and really not asserting any physical presence on that one, as Letang and Crosby again finish on a goal together. Malkin with the secondary assist there on that first feed. And these veterans just having their way in this third period against the Hartford Whalers. And you see there Crosby continues to climb up the leaderboard, now 7th in the league in points. And now the second line for each squad out there as Hartford looks to bring a little more energy and claw their way back in. Tyson Barrie takes it in, although he turns it over. Mikael Granlund with it for the Penguins. In the zone along the boards. In front for Raquel, a save by Markstrom. And Pittsburgh just getting some good chances early on here. Markstrom able to stop that one. There you see the penalty minute leaders in the league. Foligno second, as we have 3 players there in the top 10. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Scott Laughton wins the draw, although it's picked up by Pittsburgh. Granlund in front, loose puck picked up by Ceci. Now Orlov cleans it up to Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson starting to get it going here down the stretch in this season. Justin Zucker with it for the Penguins. Poked away by Ceci. Now Laughton with it. Laughton poked away, picked up by Petrie to Raquel. Raquel tries to dance his way in, closed off by Dmitry Orlov. Orlov to Leo Carlsson, up for Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson over, and that pass goes wide. I think that's for Comfer. Granlund now taking it up for the Penguins. Poked away by Ceci, still with it though, as Comfer will retrieve it along the boards. JT Comfer still with it into the neutral zone, into the Pittsburgh territory now. In front there for Mangiapane, but that goes astray. It's picked up by Bonino. Smith can't get it out. Turnover there to Comfer in front. And a backhand chance, and he finishes on a second effort. Good persistence on that shift by JT Comfer. Just following the puck and working his way towards the net. Smith was on him there, but he fended him off and finished right in front for his 18th of the season. A nice year here for JT Comfer. He ends up in the back of the net along with the puck. Now his 35th point of the season, tied there with Carlson and Scott Laughton. So now 12:04 left. Hartford down just 1 now. Leo Carlsson on the draw against Bonino. And Pittsburgh wins another one here. Joseph to Smith. Back to Bonino, poked away by Comfer. Playing very good hockey here in the third period. He gives to Sean Walker, now to Mangiapane, the Hartford captain. Leo Carlsson trying to work his way in. Stolen by Joseph. Petrie gives to a man there along the boards. Hartford with it, but that's going to be an offside. Now the Whalers will throw their trusty fourth line out there, featuring Foligno, Jake Evans, and Nolan Patrick. And finally, we get a draw win. That's back to Sami Maki, our first overall pick. Defenseman out of Finland. And I believe, if I'm correct, is he the first Finnish #1 overall pick? Smith in front for Smith. And that's fended off by Markstrom. Smith back to Bonino. Snared there by Markstrom, as we're just over halfway now through this third period. And as I mentioned, Pittsburgh just 1 point away from a wild card spot against Columbus. And there you see the wins leaders so far in the league. Shesterkin up top with Tristan Jarry among the top 10 as well. Markstrom would be up there had he not missed 2 months. Now Foligno will pick up that loose puck, although Crosby now with it against the boards. Evans picks up the loose change. Gives to Nolan Patrick, working his way into the zone. Patrick getting some space as his centering pass intercepted by Gensel. Although he does lay a big hit there. Although Pittsburgh taking it in now. Gensel with some space. Good play there by Sean Walker to pickpocket him and stand him up. Walker gives up to Patrick Kane. Kane now to Zadina for Scheifele. Scheifele for Kane in front, a shot. Blocker away. Rebound for Scheifele. And another save there by Tristan Jarry. Poked into the corner now. Now behind the net for Scheifele. Working his way in front, still behind the net. In front there for Philip Zadina. And a nice save by Tristan Jarry on the one-time attempt right in front. That's what you like to see from Scheifele, just asserting his presence out there and pretty much in control the whole way. As our top line remains out there, and we need a face-off draw here. As Scheifele does win that one back to Lindell. Now Tyson Barrie in front for Zadina, blocked in front. Zadina a second chance, blockered away by Tristan Jarry. Pittsburgh picks it up, heading the other way now. Just 7 minutes left in this third period. Glover with it. He works his way in with some space. In front for Zahorna. Save. A rebound there for Pullen. And Markstrom, another save. That was close there for Pittsburgh. Zadina now with it, as he turns it over there for Pullen. Pullen dumps it in. Picked up there by Lindell in the corner. Lindell kicks it up for Laughton. Laughton loses the handle. Back to Paling now for Pittsburgh. Over back to Glover. Glover working in front. A shot. That just goes wide. quick wrist shot there in front. And luckily that went wide. That was lethal. Patrick Kane with it for Hartford. Loses possession. Picked up by Pittsburgh. Poehling gives up to his line mate. Back to Glover. Now for Zucker. Zucker in front of pad save by Markstrom. Now just 4:15 left in this one. Hartford, you need to tie it here. After that 18-game point streak, they're now at threat of dropping 3 out of 4 in regulation. Lawton on the draw as he wins that back to Lindell. And clarification, it wasn't a 20-game point streak. It was an 18-game point streak. Arvidsson now with it. Pass up there for Lawton. Now centering pass for Arvidsson in front. And he can't get a shot off. Granlund picks it up, goes the other way. Pass there for Raquel, overtaken there by Lawton. And Petrie pickpockets him back to Raquel. Lawton giving chase. Granlund now to Petrie for the Penguins. Zucker will take it in with some room. Shot there, pad save into the corner for Granlund. Now in front for Zucker, another save there by Markstrom. Back to the point for Malkin. He gives to Petrie. Overtaken there by Comfer. A very strong third period here for JT Compher. Orlov will take it up. Poked away as Pittsburgh regains possession. Mangiapane picks it off and will take it back in for Hartford. Pickpockets it again, and Andrew Mangiapane scores. Couldn't get that out there. Mangiapane and Comfer doing it all here for Hartford in the third period as we knotted up with just 1:09 here. Comfer forces that turnover and gets it over to Mangiapane as our captain Clutch delivers to tie this late. Couldn't get that call out, so apologies about that, but love to tie it up late in this game as Pittsburgh will call a timeout. We've been very good late in games, and we've been good in games that have finished in like 1 or 2 goal differential, so hopefully we can steal this one at home from Pittsburgh, although I think they definitely have an advantage on us in overtime with those 3-on-3 lines. Mangiapane, his 22nd of the season. Letang will give to Malkin now with less than a minute in regulation. Crosby back up, overtaken there by Patrick Kane as CC feeds Scheifele. Scheifele takes it into the zone. Some nice moves there into the corner now. Picked up by Peterson for Pittsburgh. Now Crosby with it. Back to Peterson, who gives to Letang. Jake Gensel now with 15 seconds left. Pittsburgh time for a couple chances here. Closed off there by Orlov. Now Ceci will give up to Zadina. Now less than 10 as Hartford goes the other way. Kane still with it as he takes it in. Dances away in a backhand chance. Loose puck. And that almost went in. Zadina now back to the point for Scheifele as that's going to do it here in regulation. I swear that just missed going in. It just went away from the post. So now we'll start this overtime period with Sidney Crosby, Jake Gensel, and Letang out there against Scheifele, Kane, and Lindell for Hartford. And Crosby a chance in front and just barely gloved by Markstrom. We've seen so many overtime games end like that, just right off the opening faceoff here for Hartford in this series. Crosby now behind the net. A chance there for Letang, and I think that shot went wide on a one-timer right in front. Lindell picks up that loose puck along the boards. Scheifele to Kane as Hartford has a chance. Kane tried to feed Scheifele in front, overtaken by Letang. Now Gensel closed off there along the boards by Lindell. As Lindell will feed Scheifele, and he has a breakaway. Mark Scheifele game on a stick, saved by Tristan Jarry. As that puck's gonna go all the way down the ice for an icing, and Hartford with an opportune offensive zone faceoff here now. Both top lines will stay out there. Scheifele against Crosby. They're tied up as Letang will pick it up going the other way. Good hit there by Tyson Barrie as no one's going for it. That was some weird stuff going on in the neutral zone. Scott Lawton now off the bench for it. Stalls out right in front of his own net. Barrie off the boards for Tom Wilson now. Tom Wilson in front for Tyson Barrie, and that was just too poor of an angle on that pass. Barrie now with it. And loose puck picked up by Malkin for Justin Zucker. Zucker, good puck possession there as finally Hartford takes it back. Now Tom Wilson going the other way. Scott Lawton couldn't handle that centering pass. Zucker picks up the loose puck. Malkin now to Petrie with some space going the other way. Petrie with a chance. Game on a stick and he's going to score. The defenseman finishes there in front as Hartford drops this one at home, although we do steal a point with 2 late third period goals. And we have been playing a little bit better in overtime, although I feel like in our live look-ins, it just never ends in our favor. As Pittsburgh, they get an extra point out of this one, and they probably need it more than we do. I don't know how Petrie leaked free like that, and just a good deke in front to finish on Markstrom. Of all the players there on Pittsburgh, he's not the one you think is going to finish for the game winner. And that's going to do it here in Hartford. Back and forth game, good fight from Hartford, but ultimately we drop in overtime as we fall here at the XL Center 6-5 in what was a very exciting finish. So that was a tough loss against Pittsburgh, although, like I said, it was nice to kind of fight back there in the end and scrape up a point out of that one. So now we host the Chicago Blackhawks, who were a huge surprise team last year, ended up making the playoffs, so that they started off rough here in year 2, but they've put it together here lately, and they currently do hold a playoff spot. We go up 1-0 with a goal by Andrew Mangiapane with just 5 seconds left in the first period. And then we get 3 more there. Philip Zadina on the power play. Tom Wilson gets one. We go up 3-0. Connor Bedard scores to get Chicago on the board. And then Sean Walker with one as we head into the third period up 4-1. And we hold there as Markstrom stops 38 shots off of 39. And his tremendous play just continues. I think he's one of the best goalies so far. He missed a couple months, but other than that, his numbers are among the league leaders so far. We'll sim ahead here. And then we do have a couple road games at Toronto, at Dallas, as Lindell will face his former team with a home game sandwiched in between against the New York Islanders. Now we'll sim this game at Toronto, and they're probably one of the most disappointing teams in the league. I think they lost in the first round last year, and now they're one of the bottom teams in the East so far this season. They do go up 1-0 with a goal from Joshua. Austin Matthews, of course, always lethal to score. He gets one close to the net there to put him up 2-0. We'll sim the rest. And we do get shut out here against Toronto. Definitely not what you want to see, as Samsonov pitches a shutout. Markstrom another good game, stopping 30 of 32 shots. And now we host the Islanders, who have kind of fallen off here. They led the Metro all of last season. They led it for the good part, probably the first quarter of this season. And now they currently find themselves outside the playoffs, tied in points with Washington, but I guess Washington holds the tiebreaker. And I do just want to make sure that Markstrom is still in net for this one. Got to ride the hot hand here. They do throw Wedgwood in, but we'll keep Markstrom in for this one against the Islanders and then throw Wedgwood in for the next one at Dallas. We need a win here. Not going too well so far in the episode. I think that's 1-3-1 or 1-2-1. Tied there after the first. Nolan Patrick and Bo Horvat each get on the scoreboard. And no scoring there in the second, as we'll let this third period play out with a little live sim action. No scoring after 5. Still 1-1. Now less than 10 minutes left in the period now. Still no scoring here. Less than 5 now left. We might get some OT in this one. Less than a minute now. And we will get OT, so we'll let this play out, see if anyone scores in overtime. Less than 2 minutes now. And still no scoring. So is that no scoring since the first period? Yeah, that's no scoring since 13:21 in the first. As we'll send this shootout. And Hartford does come away with the win in this one. Matt Barzal scored on a shootout, but Scheifele and Kane get it done for the Whalers, as we do get a win against a good New York Islanders opponent. And look at that, Sammy Maki with an MCL sprain, and he is going to miss some time here, unfortunately, towards the end of his rookie season. And now we will just sim 2 more games to end this episode. We'll start with this one at Dallas, as Scott Wedgwood will get the call against his former team. No scoring there after the first period, and Dallas does come into this game as a bottom 5 team in the league. Tied there 1-1 after the second, and we will just jump into this game. We'll check out Wedgwood against his former team, check out Esa Lindell against the team that just traded him away, and see if Hartford can pull this one out here in the third period against a very very bad team compared to the rest of the league, as Dallas, one of the, as I said, bottom. I think they're actually fourth worst in the league right now. As we're set here for the opening faceoff, Heinz there against Scheifele, as he wins that for Dallas. Tyler Seguin still here with the Stars, as he'll give there to Heinz. Heinz hit hard there by Esa Lindell against his former teammate. Tyson Barrie now takes it up and will dump it in, as he's dumped into the Dallas bench there. A huge hit against the Hartford Whalers defenseman. Heinz back with it as he feeds Tyler Seguin. Another big hit there by Lindell. Playing hard here against his former team in front of his old home fans. Now Zadina will take it in for Hartford. Checking his options. Barrie in front of shot. Save Brayton Holtby. A few older players here on Dallas. Jordy Ben, Holtby, Tyler Seguin. They said Wyatt Johnson scored earlier in this one. Heinz just 12 goals on the year. I wonder if he missed any time. Unless he just has a bunch of assists. Lundqvist now with it for the Stars. Works his way in, drops back as Scheifele jars that one loose. Now Patrick Kane with it as he gives back up to Scheifele. Scheifele loses possession, picked up by Dadonov. In the neutral zone now, Wyatt Johnson with it. Johnson in front for Dadonov. Heiskanen now in front. A hit there by Dmitry Orlov. Tom Wilson will take it for Hartford as he dumps it in and gives chase. Picked up there by Dadonov again. Now Lundqvist with it for the Stars. Gives to Heiskanen. Heiskanen works his way and poked away there by Ceci as he takes control. Ceci will give up to Arvidsson. Going the other way for Hartford. Now Lawton breaking in on net. He has a man to his left. Dmitry Orlov with a wrister. And Holtby flashes the leather. Two former teammates there from the Washington Capitals. Dmitry Orlov against Brayton Holtby on that one. Ryan Strome on the draw against Scott Lawton here. To the right of Brayton Holtby. Lawton wins that back to Orlov. Orlov for Ceci from the point. His shot blocked in traffic. Picked up by Ben. Loose puck now picked up by Orlov. Still in the offensive zone for Hartford. Tom Wilson now up against the boards as Strome will give to Laaksonen, now to Chyson as Dallas gets it out. Poked away there by Orlov. Chyson closes on that rebound, and Jordy Ben just couldn't put that one home. Fended off there by Cody Ceci as his pass goes astray, and that's going to be an icing here as the Dallas Stars will get an offensive zone draw. Ryan Strome out there against a tired Hartford line. Scott Lawton does win that one back to Orlov. That pass over to Tom Wilson. Wilson takes it into the zone for the Whalers. Centering pass there as Scott Lawton was slashed. Now Orlov with it. His shot wide of the net as the Whalers will go on the power play here with 13:03 left in the game. Well, I think that was Orlov with a long centering pass there for Lawton as Chyson just slashed him and averted a possible chance there. Let's take another look at this one. And yeah, the pass was getting just to Lawton, and he took the penalty instead of giving a Lawton the chance there in front. So Lawton's still out there for this draw with Leo Carlsson and Zadina on this power play unit. Patrick Kane back at the point as Johnston wins that back to Laaksonen. Turnover in front, Philip Zadina right off the post. Tough break there. Zadina forced a turnover in front and fired a shot just off the post. Now Scott Lawton has it for Leo Carlsson. Carlson takes it up. Tries to feed back to Zadina. Loose puck now picked up by Johnston. Over to Harley as he clears it into the neutral zone. Picked up by Kane. Nice feed there for Scott Lawton as he loses possession to Harley. And he'll clear the zone with just a minute now left in this power play. As that'll trickle all the way down to Scott Wedgwood. He'll play that out for Barrie. Up to Leo Carlsson. Carlson out to Zadina. He's poked away there. Picked up by Dallas. Now Lawton picks up a loose puck to Zadina as he works his way into the zone. Philip Zadina with it. A shot blocked in front. Now Carlson with it behind the net. Back for Barrie. Back to the point for Kane. A shot. And I think that was a pad save or blocked. Back to Kane at the point. His shot blocked into the corner. Picked up by Lawton, who's tripped. Now up against the boards as Hartford will try and get the extra attacker out there. But Tanner G. Knott takes possession as Dallas. Another penalty here as they'll go down 5-on-3 for a few seconds here. Tough break here for Dallas. Lawton was going to retrieve that in the corner and goes head first right into the boards off that trimp. So Hintz out there for Dallas as 5 seconds of 5-on-3 for the Whalers. As Dallas does win that. Loose puck in front, picked up by Dallas. They barely cleared the zone. That's going to go for an offside. Back to 5-on-4 now for probably a minute and 45 or so. So a minute 51 left on this power play for Hartford. Hintz another face-off win. As Hartford does force a turnover, that's Scheifele down the zone. To Mangiapane across for Tom Wilson. Intercepted as Hintz will clear that out. Retrieved there by Lindell as he gives that to Scheifele. Still fighting for it as Lindell will get that out for Mangiapane. The Hartford captain taking it in. Dancing, now loose puck behind the net as Heiskanen will be tripped by Mangiapane. Mangiapane super pesky on the forecheck, but always liable for the penalty there as he commits the trip. And that's going to bring us now to 4-on-4 for a minute 1. 10:09 left in the third, a minute 1 of 4-on-4 hockey. Scheifele wins that back to Dmitry Orlov. Good maneuvering there, works into space, and now Patrick Kane will take it in for the Whalers. Closed off there, a good hit by Heiskanen as he'll take it up for Dallas out of the zone. Heiskanen still with it up the boards as he feeds Hintz behind the net. Hintz down in front for Robertson. That was blocked. Good development there by Dallas as they're now on the power play. Patrick Kane with it as he works it into the zone. Lundqvist with it in the corner. He'll give over to Heiskanen now for Hintz. Now just 30 seconds left as Tyler Seguin enters the zone. Loose puck now picked up by Ceci. Still fighting for it as Seguin recovers. Back to the point for Lundqvist as he's held along the boards by Kane. Loose puck picked up by Scheifele. And he'll get that out for Patrick Kane going the other way as he's hit hard there, trying to catch that pass from Scheifele. Now back to even strength is Nolan Patrick off the bench to intercept that one. He'll take it in for Hartford, a shot and a save there by Brayton Holtby. Good play there by Nolan Patrick off the bench. And he's been coming along here in year 2 of this dynasty. He's set to be a restricted free agent, so we'll probably match that and see if he gets any offers in free agency. Lawton now on the draw as Hintz wins another one. Back to Suter. Now up for Robertson. Robertson takes it in for the Stars. He dances his way in. Loose puck picked up in the corner. Back to the point for Suter. Now Laaksonen with it. A nice hit there along the boards by Wilson as he takes the puck, gives to Arvidsson. Arvidsson, a nice feed there by Lindell. Lindell works his way in, poked away, picked up by Suter. Chiasson with it. Is it Chison or Chiasson? I don't know that one, so apologies on that pronunciation. Now just 6 minutes left in regulation. Scott Lawton with it will give up to Tom Wilson now. Wilson stalls there in the neutral zone to Lindell, who gets hit hard there. Mangiapane will take it in. Another feed there for Lindell, working his way into the zone. Lindell's shot blocked in front. Carlson a second chance save. Holtby, he was sprawling on the ground as he'll freeze that one. Lindell created a nice chance there in front for Leo Carlson, but Holtby a nice save. Now less than 5 minutes in regulation. And there you see they're hit leaders. Tom Wilson now 6th in the league at 162. And surprised not to see Scott Lawton up there. He was among the league leaders last year. I think maybe 4th in the league in hits, Scott Lawton last year, as Dallas wins that faceoff. Good play there by Carlson to prevent it, or to force the turnover. Still with it on Mangiapane behind the net for Comfer. Comfer in front for Mangiapane. A shot and he scores! Against Pittsburgh, we saw Mangiapane tie it up late. And now he gets the go-ahead goal here late against Dallas. His 24th of the season. And Mangiapane and Comfer doing really good work on this third line, along with the youngster Leo Carlson, who's been coming along here with his new line mates. And I think that our third and fourth line are clicking pretty well right now. Mangiapane sneaks that one by Brayden Holtby. And the Whalers now up as Dallas will take a timely timeout as they look to knot this one up late. Comfer, his 36th point, ties Victor Arvidsson now among our league leaders. 4:18 left in this one, and now we just look to close this one out. Good face-off win there by Leo Carlson as Comfer will take it the other way. Comfer creates some space. Should have just shot that one. He tried to get it back for Carlson, and that goes the other way for Dallas. Dadonov now with it, intercepted it for a pass at the point. Picked up by Carlson, will take it the other way. Carlson dumps it in. Comfer giving chase as he fights Harley behind the net for it. In front for Mangiapane, and he was mistimed on that one. He had a nice chance there in front to get that one off. Sebastian Aho out there in place of the injured Sammy Maki on this third defensive pairing. And there at the bottom of the screen, you see 64 for Dallas, Logan Stanley, who we traded at the deadline for Esa Lindell in a package. Stanley now with it for the Stars, the former Hartford Whaler expansion pick. Marchment with it, as he's closed off there by Walker. Now a minute and a half left. Hartford looks to close this game out. Kane gives to Philip Zadina, loose puck behind the net. And Kane's going to get that one. Kane a chance in front for Zadina. Intercepted as Heinz will take it the other way for Dallas. And they'll pull the goalie now and get the extra attacker on. Scheifele takes that one. Still in the defensive zone for Hartford. As they do get it out, maybe? No, Zadina does not get it out yet. Dallas still fighting for it. Heinz now with it for Ben. And Lindell a timely interception. Robertson now with it in front. Save by Scott Wedgwood. Heiskanen in front for Sagan. A chance. And another save by Wedgwood. Dallas, a lot of opportunities here. Now less than 10 seconds left. Another shot. Heiskanen from the point. Blocked away into the corner. Zadina now with it. As Sagan pickpockets him. Heiskanen back with it. Lundqvist. Loose puck, a shot. That goes wide. And Hartford just survives here in Dallas to get the win in this one. So Wedgwood played well down the stretch despite all those chances at the end. And a game-winning goal by Andrew Mangiapane gets Hartford, I believe, our 43rd win of the season. The next one will give us, I think, a 10-win improvement already. So a good game here by the Whalers. They've been playing good in crunch time as they take this one in regulation 2-1. So that was a very good win against Dallas to give us 2 consecutive wins, both 2-1 games. And as I mentioned previously, we've been doing pretty well in those close 1-goal games. We actually lost Leo Carlson. He's set to miss a game or two as we reinserted Connor McMichael back into the lineup. He's been a healthy scratch for the past month or so. Now we host the New Jersey Devils, who have had a pretty bad year towards the bottom of the Metro. 1-1 there with goals by Tom Wilson and Timo Meier. Then each side adds another one. Timo Meier, his second of the game on the power play. And JT Compher gets another one here in this episode as well. So we'll let this live sim play out the third period. As well, this will be the last game of the episode. Probably a shorter episode. So maybe after this, we'll just kind of glance over some AHL players and talk about them and their stats. And maybe their status moving ahead on this team. We do get a late one there. Another one from Compher. And he's been playing tremendous hockey here this episode. Arvidsson nets the empty netter as we take it at home here against New Jersey and win 4-2. Compher with a pair, Tom Wilson and Victor Arvidsson each with 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 hit in this game. That'll bring us up to 44, 21, and 10. Still second in the Metro and tied for the second best record in the NHL as well with the Minnesota Wild. So what an unreal transformation this team has gone under. And we're just playing lights out hockey here in the second half of this year 2 season. In the next episode, we'll take a look at this game. We'll watch the whole thing through as we're on the road against the Buffalo Sabres, currently second in the Atlantic. They've kind of sputtered out here in the second half, but they started off real well, and they were, I think, probably the top team in the NHL at one point. We kind of touched on our own player stats last episode, I believe, so we'll really just focus on AHL players for now, as I don't think we've really looked at AHL stats yet. There you see our leading point getter is Jacob Perreault, 25 goals, 23 assists. At 77 overall, a right-wing sniper who could play a little center. So he's someone that will definitely compete for a spot on the roster next year. Along with Graham Clark, another right-handed sniper at right wing. So Perreault and Clark will likely battle for maybe a 4th line spot next year or our spot as a depth forward. Both with very productive years so far, each with 48 points actually. Gonzalez also has 48 points. He was our expansion pick from the Tampa Bay Lightning. All 3 of these players, or I guess our top 4, including Will Coyle, all expansion selections. And it's nice to see them producing in the AHL and kind of coming along as they near a spot at competing for an NHL spot on our Hartford Whalers roster. Will Coyle played in the preseason a little bit. Excuse me on that. He played in the preseason a little bit. And he's probably ready for a roster spot next season. I'm not really sure about Gonsalves, although he is close. He does have NHL experience in Tampa Bay. Ali Leixell was our leader in points last year. He missed some time, but he's doing quite well. Riley Damiani was a member of this inaugural Poughkeepsie Panthers team. Curtis Douglas was someone we signed over the offseason, 6'9", 242 center. I mean, how do you pass that up? Toporowski, I think, is the captain of this team, or at least like the most influential player in the clubhouse. This is not baseball. I'm all caught up with my show franchise going on. Then we see Daniil Chaika, our acquisition last year in the Matt Grzelcyk trade. He's having a productive year there in the AHL, leading all Poughkeepsie defensemen in points. And there's Tyler Tucker. He's very close to a roster spot. They're at 79 overall, and definitely next year I would assume he's on the team. Very good showing there. He missed about a month or two, but a plus 19 and good production, almost a point per game for a defensive defenseman. Really no one. And there's Samuel Bolduc. I think he recently got hurt. 20 points in 62 games, 77 overall, and he's someone that's also going to be competing for a spot next year. And that pretty much does it for noteworthy players that might have a chance at making the roster at some point. Now goalies, Daniil Tarasov, we've seen a little bit of at the NHL level as our emergency number 3 goalie. He's having a good year with Poughkeepsie, 25-16-2, with 5 shutouts, a .922 save percentage, and 208 goals against. Very good numbers from him, 26-year-old, 80 overall. And maybe we'll look to give him a look at our backup goalie, depending on what happens with Scott Wedgwood over the offseason. Then Silovs, he's kind of regressed a little this year after a really good showing in the playoffs last year. Frederick Dichow is just our reserve goalie, and 4-0 in 5 starts, or 5 games played with a shutout and a .947 save percentage and 5 goals against. So very good numbers there when he filled in for Tarasov during that 2-month period where Jacob Markstrom was hurt. Poughkeepsie, a pretty good year, 42-28-5, and I would assume they're in the playoff picture. They had a nice run last year, knocked out in the conference championship. So just 7 games left in this year 2 season, and next episode we'll check out the entirety of this Buffalo game, and then we finish just 6 more games after that. Versus Ottawa, at Minnesota, versus Seattle, versus Nashville, at Detroit, and then we'll conclude versus Anaheim. As Hartford, we're in prime spot to take a playoff spot this year. As it currently stands, I guess we would play Columbus in the first round, and that's not something I would look forward to at all. If you've been tuning into this franchise, you know Patrick Laine, he would probably just end up having like 10 goals in that series against us. I think in maybe about 5 or 6 regular season games, Patrick Laine has probably 8 goals against us. So we definitely don't want to have to play against him in the postseason. But I'm just going to scroll down some stats here. This is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Hartford Whalers expansion franchise, keeping up with it, as we're set for a playoff run here in year 2, which we'll soon get to, probably just 2 episodes away from getting to the playoffs. So as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.